office of member of Board of Education for the Marcellus Central School District according to the best of my ability.
All right, item number 3, election of president. I would like to request at this time any nominations for the office of president of the Board of Education.
I would like to nominate Christine Shea as president.
Thanks, Catherine.
A second.
Are there any other nominations? Resolved that the Board of Education elects Christine Shea to serve as president of the Board of Education for the 2024-2025 school year. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
And second?
Second.
Okay. When I read your name, if you could just please share your vote. Catherine? Oh, sorry.
Pardon me.
So we're gonna say the vote aloud, each
Yes.
person, so, okay.
Aye.
Aye, I'm sorry. Sean?
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
Erica?
Aye.
Justin?
Aye.
Christine?
Hi. Myself. Okay.
The Board of Education elects Christine Shea to serve as president of the Board of Education for the 2024-2025 school year. Item number 4, election of vice president. At this time, I'd like to request nominations for the office of vice president of the Board of Education.
I'd like to nominate Sean Eady.
Any other nominations? Okay. Resolved that the Board of Education elects Sean Eady to serve as vice president for the 2024-2025 school year. Can I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
When I read your name loud, please share your vote. Catherine?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
Erica?
Aye.
Justin?
Aye.
And Christine?
Hi.
Okay, the Board of Education elects Sean Eady to serve as vice president for the 2024-2025 school year. Congratulations. All right. Item number 5, oath of office. District clerk will administer the oath of office to the newly elected president and vice president of the Board of Education. So have you guys read your oath? Do you want to?
Oh, yeah, no,
Okay, so maybe Christine could read and then.
absolutely.
Okay. I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of president of the Marcellus Central School District according to the best of my ability.
And I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New York. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of vice president of the Marcellus Central School District according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to Christine Shea, who's now president, and she will chair the meeting.
Thank you, Kelly. All right, we will move on to item 6.1, appointment of officers. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the following appointments for the 2024-25 school year. You can see them listed there below. If I could have a motion,
Motion, Sean.
Sean. Second. I have a second motion.
Erica.
I did not hear you. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Erica. Okay. Any questions or comments about any of the appointments of officers?
So I do want to just say a couple things, just again, for the audience that is listening. So what you see here are standard appointments that we have to do by law every year, for New York State. One of the things that I do want to just point out, you may notice a new tax collector. So Elaine Potter, who has been the tax collector, has retired, officially retired from her full-time position. And so we are now shifting. Tony worked out with the town of Onondaga for them to collect our school taxes. Tony has created a postcard that will go out to all residents who pay taxes so that they know about this change. And then we will make sure we're also publicizing it, in other modalities as well. You'll notice, you might wonder, well, Elaine Potter's still on here. She is considered a special assignment clerk. And so what she does is help us reconcile our bank statements. And so you'll notice the treasurer, Joanne Scholl, could do that. She could reconcile bank statements, but you want a separation of duties so that you have somebody else checking those bank statements and not the
Mhm.
same person. So again, just to sort of give you some context to what you're voting for.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Moving on to item number 7, appointment of external auditor. Resolved that the Board of Education appoints Grossman, St. Armor CPAs, PLLC, external auditor for the 24-25 school year. Can I have a motion? Catherine?
Second, Sean.
Sean? Okay. Any questions or comments? This is the auditor that we've used.
Yes, so this is the auditor we've used. He has come and done board presentations of his, the audits that he's done for the district. Tony continues to be happy with his work. In 2026, our contract with them is up, and so we will at that time put out what's called an RFP, a request for proposal. Again, so far we've been happy and we'll continue with them until that time that we have to put out a request for proposal.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moving on to item number 8, appointment of financial advisor. Resolved that the Board of Education appoints Fiscal Advisors and Marketing, Inc. as the Marcellus Central School District Financial Officer for the 24-25 school year. Can I have a motion? Erica? Second, Josh? Questions or comments? This is our financial advisor that we've used previously.
Yeah, and so really and Tony can speak to this probably even better than I, but sort of that overall picture of the district's financial
Mhm.
health. Working on best ways to secure bonds.
Mhm.
You can,
Yeah, you just nailed it.
Yeah.
So they assist us with any issuance of debt is pretty much their sole responsibility. And then there are some requirements each year to some SEC requirements for reporting requirements we need to fulfill every year. They help us with that. Our annual outlay to fiscal advisors is I would say between $3,000 and $5,000. So it's not a significant expense, but it
Mhm.
is an expense that we need to incur.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, moving on to item number 9, other appointments. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the following appointments for the 2024-2025 school year, and you can see them listed there before you. Can I have a motion?
Motion, Sean.
Sean? Second, Erica? Any questions or comments about any of those?
and so just again, for context, especially for anybody that's listening, these are our yearly designations. We have to really make sure that we're spelling out who these
Mhm.
people are in the district. And typically all of this is publicized on the district website. So parents, families, even our employees know who to turn to for some of these positions. Just to note, Bob Montgomery, now that he has assumed the position of Assistant Superintendent, you'll notice him on this list several times as he has taken over those duties.
Any additional questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item number 10, designations. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the following designations for the 2024-2025 school year. You can see those listed before you. Can I have a motion? Catherine? Second,
Second, Sean.
Sean? Any questions or comments about any of those?
So again, same thing. We have to designate all of this, publicly at our reorg meeting every year and, typically most of that information is the same. I think this year we've had Eagle newspapers in the past. You see now that we have Syracuse Post Standard.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And then moving on to, item number 11, resolved that the Board of Education authorize the following for the 2024-25 school year. You can see those authorizations there listed in front of you. Can I have a motion? Catherine? Erica, second. Questions or comments about any of those authorizations? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Moving on to item number 12. So this is the certification lead evaluators for the 2024-25 school year. Okay, so let me just. Whereas the following persons are considered as certified lead evaluators for the 2024-25 school year as outlined in section 32.0 of the rules of the Board of Regents, having participated in the lead evaluator training provided by the OCM BOCES, which included the requiring components. Jean Charlo, Brian Seavey, Robert Montgomery, Kara Lux, Michael Free, Eric Hubbard, Boyan Monachak, Stephanie Rice, Janet O'Mara, Lauren Mesa, and Tamala Ray. Resolved that the Board of Education recognizes the above listed as certified lead evaluators for the annual professional performance review. Can I have a motion?
Motion, Sean.
Sean? Second? Second, Justin? Questions or comments about?
So just so everybody knows the context of this, the agreement that New York State has with our district and every other district in New York State, we have a plan that's called an annual professional performance review. And that is with our teachers and our principals. And so that negotiation, every single year, our administrative team who evaluates teachers has to be trained on that sort of process to effectively evaluate teachers and also be able to calibrate. You don't want one administrator, being overly, unfair or, overly too kind. So what that training does is it just brings us sort of together and make sure that we're calibrating the same walking into a teacher's evaluation or in my case, when I evaluate the principals, it sort of helps with just making sure that you're overseeing the right components in that evaluation. So that training, actually, we have our administrative team retreat the next 3 days, and that training will take place on Wednesday with our team. So we're excited.
Great. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And moving on to item number 13, appointment of Committee on Special Education. Resolved that the Committee on Special Education for the 2024-25 school year be appointed as follows in accordance with the provision of Educational Law, Section 4402, to ensure timely evaluations and placement of students. You can see listed below you there who is the appointment of the Committee on Special Education. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Catherine?
Second, Sean.
Second, Sean. Any questions or comments? Is there any changes to that committee?
No changes. And again, just like everything else that you're seeing, Kara has to put this forward every year and publicize exactly who these individuals are in case parents want to seek them out. So
Great. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item number 14, appointment of Committee on Preschool Education, appointment of Committee on Preschool Special Education. Resolved that the Committee on Preschool Special Education for the 2024-2025 school year be appointed as follows in accordance with the provision of Educational Law, Section 4410, to implement the provisions of Section 200.16 of the Commissioner's Regulations. You can see that listed there before you. Can I have a motion? Josh? Second? Erica? Questions or comments?
So just so you understand the difference between 13 and 14, you probably already do, but anybody listening, the number 14 is preschool. So we provide services through our special ed department of any student who's a preschool student who needs special ed
Mhm.
services. And so that's this designation there, and why you see somebody designated for Onondaga County, because Kara Lux works closely with Onondaga County to ensure that we're providing whatever parents need.
What age is that? That's even younger than UPK?
Yep, it can be 3 years old that kids receive services before they enter school. And again, as the thought process goes, is if we can help those students at the younger age resolve any issues before they get to school, they'll be much more successful once they're here. So the earlier you start that intervention, the more successful kids are.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moving on to item number 15, appointment of subcommittees on special education. Resolved that the subcommittees are established for each school for the 2024-2025 school year to perform the function of the Committee on Special Education pursuant to the provision of educational law, section 4402. Except when a student is considered for initial placement in a special ed class outside of the student's school of attendance, or a school primarily serving students with disabilities, or a school outside of the student's district. Can I have a motion? Catherine? Second?
Sean.
Sean? Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item number 16, appointment of impartial hearing officer. Resolved that the superintendent of schools is authorized to appoint an impartial hearing officer for the 2024-2025 school year to maintain SED timelines. Can I have a motion? Erica. Josh. Questions or comments?
So this is specifically for special education. If a parent goes through the process and they may have, a difference in opinion, we can appoint an impartial hearing officer to hear both what our special education department recommended and what the parent's concern is, so that there is some type of resolution. So that's what that's intended for.
You have students this year going outside of the district?
We do have students that go outside the district, yep.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moving on to 18 consent agenda. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the following for the 2024-2025 school year. You can see the consent agenda listed there before you. Can I have a motion?
This is from bonding and personnel.
Yes.
Motion.
Catherine,
Second.
Justin. Questions or comments? Did I skip something?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. My mistake. I jumped ahead to 18. Let's back up to 17. Bounding of personnel. Sorry about that. Second mess. Are we okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
okay,
just-
okay.
No problem.
All right, so item number 17, bonding of personnel. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the following bondings for the 2024-2025 school year. And you can see those listed there before you. Can I have a motion? Josh,
Second, Sean.
Sean. Questions or comments about any of the bonding of personnel? All those in favor?
Right.
Opposed? Carried. All right, we'll go back to item 18, consent agenda. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the following for the 2024-2025 school year. So you can see those listed before you. Actually, first, can I have a motion?
Sean.
Sean? Second, Erica. Okay, any questions or comments? All those in favor?
So I do want, I'm sorry,
Yes,
just
go ahead.
in the past, so if you look at 18.1.6, so and 18.1.7, what we have done is have a district audit committee of the whole and a district policy committee of the whole, meaning all the board members participate in that committee. And if you remember, the rationale behind that is then you all sort of have that same information. Some districts have an audit committee separate from the whole board. And so, you know, a few board members are ones that sit on that audit committee and, you know, sort of move forward in the direction of then reporting back to the whole board. So I just want to ensure that everybody is still good with at least 8.16 and 8.17. Continuing with both of those as a committee of the whole. And then 18.18, we are looking for 2 board members to be part of the facilities committee. I know last year, Christine sat on that committee as well as Mike McCullough, I think
Yep.
was on that
Mhm.
as well. So, if what we're looking for is one for just to make a decision, if you want to keep the committee of the whole for 18.1.6 and 18.1.7. And then 18.1.8, just looking for 2 board members. Those meetings, Tony typically runs those and they're around 7:30 in the morning. We try to get people here early just so that they can be off to work. So I will let you discuss if that's how you want to move forward with those committees.
What do you think about keeping those, the first 2 as a whole? I think it's been helpful. Yep.
Yeah, great.
Everybody on same page with that? Okay. And then the facilities committee, I am happy to do it again. I do think it is an interesting experience. You really learn a lot about the buildings and grounds and.
You get
and
tours
You
of the-
do,
of
yes,
the
yes,
basement
yep,
A
mhm.
history that is just incredible, quite
Yeah,
honestly.
it is, yeah, yes.
You can anytime.
Yes.
I mean, the pool is underneath, right?
Yeah.
Any volunteers? Facilities committee?
During the week, right?
Yeah, it's during the week, yeah. I know, at that time.
Yeah, we're flexible on the time, whatever is, if you prefer evening, that's fine.
So Justin, I saw your hand go up.
I did, if there's somebody that I can rearrange my schedule with no notice, but, somebody that's consistently home, that might be better.
Okay. All right, Erica? Did you say you can do it? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay giving it up. I actually think I've done it for 2 or 3 years. And so, and I did learn a lot. I think it was great. So if Erica and Justin are, that works. All right.
One of the things that you get from those meetings is really just some of the issues that we have in our facilities right now and how we prioritize. So what is first priority, second priority? What is the long range plan? And like I said, you do get sort of a front row seat on some of the issues. We do tours of the building. So it is fascinating and you know, very valuable.
Mhm. Yeah, and Brian Ciota is the community member. He
Yes.
brings a lot of value to the team as well. I believe
Yes.
so.
Yep.
yeah. Okay, so at this point, is there any other questions or comments about any of those? These are the consent agenda items, right?
That's the periods relevant to the Affordable Care Act.
Yes, so the measurement period coming up would be July 1st to June 30th of 24 to 25. And it's pretty basic. And we have very few employees who are not eligible for health insurance.
Yeah.
For those who are not, we have to monitor their hours to determine if they ever reach a point where they are eligible to carry health insurance. And then there's an administrative period, which is the time after that has occurred, where we may then have a responsibility to reach out to an employee. And all of the time that the Affordable Care Act has existed, we've not had one instance where a person did reach the point of eligibility who wasn't already eligible. And then I forget the stability period. That's, I want to say, but I can't remember. It's been so long since this has been implemented and we give so little attention to it nowadays. But I want to say that stability period would be for anybody who has reached eligibility, that we would have to then monitor those folks to determine if they continue to be eligible. I'm not certain about that, but it's been a while.
Thank you. Yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
Any other questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. That brings us to item 19, end of our reorganizational meeting. Did we vote on that? Sorry, yes, we do. Resolved that the reorganizational meeting be adjourned and the regular Board of Education meeting be convened. Can I have a motion? Catherine and Justin? And Josh? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. So we will move on to item number 20, presentations.
So I do want to just do a quick building project update. What I do want to note first is you may notice the other presentation that we have listed here, Tony is going to do just a overview of the district-wide safety plan document. Originally, it was put on business, but we moved it to presentations because we have to review it with the board formally, and then it goes on our website for 30 days for comment. Before then, we bring it to you for approval. So that's why we pulled it off of business so that we put it on to presentations tonight. So just so that you have that knowledge. So building project update. I do want to just give you probably, maybe you did, or maybe you didn't see this as you were driving through. So this is right now the status of our career exploration and agricultural sciences building. You see the windows are going on there, again, some of the trim that they've done. It is really fast and furious. They, last week, we had an expert from Vermont come to help Ryan and our architects just get a sense of the structure of the sugar shack and everything that we need to make that viable. We have all of the equipment, but it's more just setting it in place. So it is just fast and furious. And again, they're doing a great job. And Joe Killian, who is our ag teacher, has really been working closely with Ryan just to ensure that the space is exactly how it should be for maximum use. And Tony, I'm gonna ask you to go to the next one. And so the next picture is why we're not at the high school tonight. So this is the emergency domestic water pipe project. And you can see the picture of the piping there that's all, secured and packaged well. The picture down at the right is some of the work that they were doing before they could get down into the crawl space. And when I say a crawl space, you cannot have claustrophobia going down into these crawl spaces. You see the size of the piping that they're moving down into these spaces. And so we shut off the water on July 2nd. And it was expected to go back on Friday, and they were able to do that. And we likely could have had the meeting there, but we just weren't sure and didn't want to have to make that change at the last minute. But that project is going well, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that will be no snafus for the start of school. I think they started early enough that we should be well on our way.
Okay, to move on to the
Yes,
district-wide safety.
yes.
Okay. So each year, the board at this time of year is presented with any updates to our district-wide safety plan document. It's a rather large document, I think 71 pages or so. And so we aren't going to take you through the entire document. Each year we will walk you through the changes that were applied. The document itself is available on our website. In fact, we're going to make it prominently available tomorrow so that the public has an opportunity to review it themselves. we afford them a 30-day comment period where they might make any, suggestions for changes to the plan. And then after that 30-day comment period, you folks would actually approve that plan for the upcoming school year. The district-wide plan itself, in general, it's defining I don't know how many I want to say about 50 bits of terminology. Many of them are required and dictated by the Commissioner of Education. And so the district-wide plan itself doesn't provide any specific details about how we're going to respond in the event of an emergency. That exists at the building level. Those plans are not available to the public. They're not for public consumption. And but are available certainly to our staff in the event of an emergency. So so again, if you'd like to, you can take a look at the district-wide plan. The changes that were made this year primarily are related to a change in the commissioner's regulations that take effect July 31st of 2024. And they center mostly around trauma-informed responsibilities. And in a nutshell, what trauma-informed means is that we need to be aware and cognizant of the fact that some of our staff and students may have been subjected to trauma at some point in their lives. And we need to be mindful of that when we're performing drills. So, for example, if we were to go back to 2014, I believe, we actually performed an active shooter drill where there were blanks fired in the hallway. It was really quite intense. It was only for staff, not for students. And the idea at that time was to give people the experience of what it might actually be like in the event of an active shooter situation. And so that's a scenario that we could not do going forward after July 31st of 2024. So that's just an example of what this is trying to address. These changes are trying to address. And so and there was, of course, some trauma-informed definitions that were applied, some language that, as I just mentioned, regarding drills. There's also a notification requirement. So now we need to take responsibility for notifying parents that we're going to perform these drills in the event that they have any concerns to share with the district. And then on page 52, as we do each year, especially with all the changes that we've had, we have to update contact information for building principals. And they've also required this year that we include bus drivers and bus attendants as part of our district-wide safety committee. So that's new, and that's a great idea. We have always had our transportation supervisor involved, but they actually want representation from those employees. And then each year, thank goodness for Google Docs and it carefully pointing out all of the grammatic mistakes that might exist in a document. So we took advantage of that and went through and cleaned some things up. So that is it. Those are the changes that were applied. And again, the document will be, it's currently on the website, but we'll make sure that it's in a more prominent fashion as of tomorrow.
So is there safety plans, procedures for each building itself?
There are.
Any ag building gets done with things that need to be added, safety procedures for that building?
Yep, there will be. It'll be almost like an addendum to the high school building.
So so August 19th is when we'll bring the full plan back for you to approve, and then we'll be set for the year. That information is submitted to the through the state's portal and then disseminated to law enforcement and other first responders.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, moving on to item number, was that for presentations?
That's
Okay.
it. Yep.
All right, moving on to item number 21, residents' comments. Public expression at the Board of Education meetings is encouraged, and a specific portion of the agenda shall provide for this privilege. In most instances, the board shall reserve judgment regarding questions and concerns that are brought to the board's attention at a board meeting, as it is typically not prudent for the board to make instantaneous determinations. In addition, many issues that are brought to the board's attention do not require a formal determination by the board, but instead are most appropriately addressed by the superintendent of schools or persons designated by the superintendent without further board action in accordance with board policy 3220, community relations. Do we have any residents' comments at this time? No. Okay. All right, moving on to item number 22, business. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the 2024-2025 school breakfast and lunch prices as followed. As follows. You can see them listed there before you. Can I have a motion?
Motion, Sean.
Sean,
Second.
Catherine? Questions or comments? They stayed the same, right? No
Yep,
change
no
in price?
changes from the prior year, right?
What-
They've stayed the
what's
same.
included? Like,
What would a typical lunch include? Well, there'd be a protein, 2 servings of fruits or vegetables, milk, dairy component, grain. So,
it's all within the 350.
yeah. Even I am very satisfied when I finish the school.
Are you a fan of the chicken patties?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the chicken patty.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Just one, I'm sorry, one question, not specifically about the amounts here. I know we had previously discussed about the free lunch, and there was a threshold, and we were just below that, correct?
Which we still are,
Yeah.
right? And we look at that periodically just to, if we can, we would, try that. But yeah, we're right under that threshold to,
25% is the,
Tony knows that number. I think it's
Yeah,
20.
it's 25 is the threshold, and that's per building. The closest we're at currently is around 22%.
Yeah,
I
so
was talking with my counterpart from New Hartford, she's actually retiring in August, and she shared that in their BOCES, all schools operate their lunch programs through BOCES. And I learned that buildings that are not eligible to participate become eligible if they're part of I'll call it a consortium. It's probably not the right word. So in any case, I'll be pursuing that this year to see if that's a possibility for this OC and BOCES will entertain.
thanks, Tony.
Okay, moving on to item 22.2, approval of bus bond resolution. Feel like I'm missing the language for that. Yeah. Let me just see. Let's click it here. Okay. I don't see a resolution. Is that, do you?
I can give you one.
Okay,
How about if I verbalize it, you say?
okay,
Good.
okay.
Resolved that the Board of Education authorizes the issuance of debt for the purchase of buses approved by voters in May of 2024.
Perfect. I guess my thumbs up. Okay. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Catherine? Erica? Questions or comments?
So this is for, and if you remember, we had a proposition on our vote in May for 2 66 passenger buses, 1 30 passenger bus, and 1 minivan. So it was already approved by voters. What this allows Tony and business office to do is go out and seek bonding in order for us to actually purchase those.
Great. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Moving on to item 22.3, approval of the 2024-25 OCM BOCES initial AS-7 contract. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the 2024-25 OCM BOCES initial AS-7 contract. Can I have a motion? Erica? Second, Catherine? Questions or comments about that?
So these are all just the various services and softwares that we purchase through BOCES. This is sort of, our typical, needs that we put forward, and Tony budgets for this. you know, when he puts forward his budget
Mhm.
in January, February, he has that forecasted in the budget.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moving on to personnel, number 23. Item 23.1, resolved that the Board of Education approves the following personnel items, and you can see them listed before you, 23.1.1 through
One.
through 23.19. Thank you, Sean. You can see them all listed before you. Any question, or can I have a motion?
Motion, Sean.
Sean,
Second.
Catherine? Questions or comments about any of those personnel items?
So just again, some context, our content specialists are really our leaders in our department, and Bob Montgomery, as the assistant superintendent, will be working closely with our content specialists to move initiatives forward. One of the things that is outlined in our strategic plan is the development of a curriculum council. And so that is something that our content specialists are very involved with and work closely with the district, again, just in the support of moving initiatives forward.
No, it's okay. And then before we vote, I'm going to request that we pull out item 23.1.7, and we will vote on that separately. So at this time, we'll vote on items 23.1 through 23.6, and then 23.8 through 23.9. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Now we will vote on item 23.1.7. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? You're going to
Abstain.
abstain. Carried. Okay. Moving on to item 24, consent agenda. Resolved that the consent agenda consisting of the following items be approved. You can see those items listed there before you. Can I have a motion? Catherine?
Second, Sean.
Second, Sean. Questions or comments about any of those consent items?
So the overnight field trip, that's Liz Milliken, who is our family and consumer science teacher, and she runs a FACS club. And so there are students who are interested and eager to attend the Family Consumer Community Leadership Association Conference. And that's a SUNY Oneonta, July 22nd to 24th. And so it is an overnight, which is why she is seeking the board's approval to do that. It's a wonderful opportunity, and you know, Liz does a great job with our students, and how awesome that in the summertime, that's how they want to spend their time. So
That's great. Okay, any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Right, moving on to item number 25, informational items.
yep, I have a couple things that I just want to sort of forecast. The first thing that I do want to just publicly say is a huge apology to Jackson Clark. He is a graduating senior. And his name was accidentally read incorrectly at graduation. It was said as Jason instead of Jackson. So honestly, our team is, they're perfectionists. Bob can attest to this. And it was heartbreaking for us that happened. And unfortunately, it was just an honest mistake, and it's hard to go back in time and fix that. So just our sincere apologies. I know Brian Seavey reached out, as did I, and you know, again, we're working as a team to make sure that with that type of mistake, we can do a better job next year of ensuring that doesn't happen. So again, we're heartbroken. APPR, so you heard a little bit about that when we talked about lead evaluators earlier in the board agenda. So the annual professional performance review, the state just voted on changing the parameters of that. And so there are new regulations that give school districts more local control. And we're still waiting on what that means and what the details are. But one of the major things, it's an uncoupling of state test scores with teacher evaluation. So that's a big part of it. And it sort of just allows districts to create their own review and evaluation system with teachers that is not burdensome. And so what I say is, you may remember that we bring on independent evaluators and we pay them to come in and evaluate our teachers. Janet O'Mara is one, and Tam Ray is also another one that supports us with that. It is burdensome to have to bring someone from the outside to be an independent evaluator in a small district like this. So we'll be able to reimagine that. And I know Bob and I have already talked a little bit, just the power of coaching and being able to sort of work on creating an evaluation system that's really meaningful for our teachers. And honestly, I think we do a great job. It will just help us sort of minimize what we need, bringing somebody from the outside in to evaluate our teachers. A couple other things, the strategic plan. We will send out to our families in the community in early August. And then currently our administrative team is working on our code of conduct for the 2024-2025 school year. Like the district-wide safety plan, we will have 30 days of comment, and then we will send it to the board for approval. So that you will see in early August as well.
And Jean, on both of those topics, should there be comments? Are those comments then shared just with your admin team? Do those comments, are they shared with the board? As you're developing any edits that are needed?
Yep, absolutely. In fact, we typically, like parent comments, we want parent comments just so that we, sometimes when you build something with just a small team, there are things that you don't think about. So we appreciate and will seek people, with their comments and trying to make sure that we have the best plan possible. So.
Thank you.
Is that it for information items?
That's it, yep.
Okay. At this time, the meeting will be adjourned. Resolved that the Board of Education meeting be adjourned. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Erica, Sean, all those in favor?